Hi and hello YouTube friends. I'm sorry for the actual terrible glare right now. We all know my camera's broken and I need a new one. I hope you like the ambience. I'm filming this in the evening for a change, so I've decided I didn't want the big light on, I just wanted the lamp on. So we've got the lamp, got my beautiful little squashmallow behind me. And I have 2 stacks of books to show you because I have obviously once again done a book haul, even though I wasn't supposed to. I know that one of these days I should do a book buying ban for a little while, but we all know it's not going to happen, so I'm just not gonna, to be honest. There is some stuff I need to talk about regarding like life updates and stuff like that, but I'll wait to do that until the end, so anyone who doesn't actually care all that much about my life doesn't have to listen to it. So let's start with the book haul, shall we? So I found so much poetry in charity shops this month. It is unbelievable. Like, I found the collected poems of W.B. Yeats. I don't think it's everything, but again, like, I'll take any poetry anthology I can get. Like, I'm trying to build my collection up as much as possible. The Penguin First World War poetry book. Again, if you watched my last video or the one before that, you know that I read In Memoriam and I fell in love with, not necessarily fell in love with World War One, but I want to understand more. And I feel like, because when we were in school in the UK, you learn about World War One poetry. That's what they kind of teach you, is war poetry, and I hated it. I thought it was so pointless. I didn't see the point in learning it. So yeah, it never interested me. But obviously reading In Memoriam, I now want to read it. Like, that has really kind of changed the way I look at poetry, especially war poetry. Like, it can be gorgeous. So yeah, that one I found. I think both of those were like £1 or something, so they weren't much. And then these two are both the Penguin Poets. You've got Gerard Manley Hopkins and then the Metaphysical Poets, and that's got people like Walter Riley, etc., etc. And like, look, they yellowed and loved. And I know that oh my god, this was the cutest little find. I didn't put that in there. It was in there when I bought it. Like, how amazing is that? And I know that the Metaphysical Poets has got annotations, so I'm very excited for that because I love reading other people's annotations, even if I'm not allowed to annotate my own books. But we already know the story about that, don't we? Next up, sorry, that's an awful angle, like when I've got my head to the side. Like, I hope you like my chins. So I found more poetry, but look, they're the gorgeous kind of like old school hardbacks. And oh my god, like, what finds. I couldn't believe my luck. This one is longer narrative poems. This is yeah, this is kind of various different poets and longer verses, because I find a lot with compilations and anthologies that you only really get kind of shorter poems. You don't get poems that really kind of show you who the poet is, like, at full capacity. So this one I was quite excited about. And inside it's dated 1936. So that was very exciting. This one is, oh, this is various poems by Tennyson. So this is another, like, just longer poems. It contains The Lady of Shalott, The Lotus Eaters, Sennin, Ulysses, Lancelot and Elaine, The Passing of Arthur. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's etched with like little wheat grains and stuff. It's definitely seen better days, but very well loved. Again, 1945, that one. I love finding people's loved old books. Like, I love being able to rehome other people's books. It makes me so happy. This one I bought just for me. The minute I saw A.A. Milne on the cover, I knew I had to have it. Like, Winnie the Pooh has been my comfort character for a very long time. For those of you who don't know, I suffer with CPTSD, depression, anxiety. I've had a lot of trauma. And whilst I am getting better and I'm coping better, two of the things that got me through were Alice in Wonderland and Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is still one of the things that gets me through to this day. I don't have him in here because I slept in the front room last night because it was cold. But my kind of go-to stuffed animal is Winnie the Pooh. So anything by A.A. Milne. Anything by A.A. Milne I will pick up. And this one, it's called Not That It Matters. And I think it's just essays. Like from what I gathered, like as I kind of flicked through, it's just essays. So I'm excited to read this. I'm terrified to touch the book. Like, this is probably the one in like the worst condition of all of them. Just like from, like, you can tell that it's been read a lot. It's been loved a lot. And like, I love that so much, but I am terrified to touch it. Like, I'm trying to see if I can find when this was published. Just because, yeah, it is really, really old. It was bought in Bristol, which makes me very happy, being from Bristol. Oh, it doesn't look like it does. That's such a shame. But yeah, Not That It Matters by A.A. Milne, and again, you can see how well loved it is. Like, I'm excited to read that, but it's not kind of a priority. Like, those kind of books I like to preserve and just kind of like, if they take my fancy, I'll read them, but otherwise they are going to be more just kind of showpieces than anything else, just because I don't want them damaged. The last one I got that is kind of in the same wheelhouse is the Lamb's Tales from Shakespeare. And like, first of all, I paid £2.50 for this. It's so stunning. I'm sorry, I'm so like, I apologize because I'm so all over the place today. It's been like a week, it's been a few days, and like, yeah, my brain's not working. But this is the cover pages from the inside. It's designed for the use of young people. It basically it cuts down Shakespeare's stories into more manageable like actual stories. Like, instead of it being written like a play, it's written like a story. So I was just very excited to get this one. Like, the first page I opened was onto a Midsummer Night's Dream, which is one of my favourites, and it has nothing to do with Dead Poets Society at all. So yeah. Moving on to some of the others that I found. I mean, honestly, like, I don't really have a huge amount to say about them, poetry and the kind of Shakespeare one, because what do you say? It's a collection of poetry, or it's Shakespeare. Like, we all generally kind of know what it's about, like, so I didn't really know what to say, sorry. Moving on to the kind of novels and books. The first book I've got is Milkman by Anna Burns, and we can thank my wonderful friend Marley for this one. She kept talking about it in the Discord, and she did a vlog on it as well, just talking about her thoughts, and honestly, I was hooked. I was hooked from the moment she read the synopsis. It's based during the, can I say anymore? Yes, apparently. It's based around the Troubles in Ireland, so the 1980s, 1990s, and it is about a young girl. I'll read you the synopsis because that'll probably explain it better. We all know I'm crap at synopsis. In this unnamed city, to be interesting is dangerous. Middle sister is busy attempting to keep her mother from discovering her maybe boyfriend and to keep everyone in the dark about her encounter with Milkman. But when first brother-in-law sniffs out her trouble and rumours start to swell, middle sister becomes interesting. The last thing she ever wanted to be interesting is to be noticed, and to be noticed is to be dangerous. So it just sounded really good. I'm a little bit intimidated because there's no page breaks, there's no chapters. Like, it's like she's a thick girl, she's dense. So I'm excited to read that one. Again, I love anything kind of set around the Troubles, set in Ireland, being part Irish. So I'm excited to read that. I know that there's quite an age difference between them. Like, I know that the female main character is like 18 or something like that, and the milkman is in his 30s, so it's kind of gross. But from the way Mally spoke about it, I just needed to read it. I will be linking everyone's channels below who I speak about today. So probably Mally, probably Leah. Let's be honest. I always talk about Leah, because that's how I know everybody. The second book I picked up was The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivy. Now, this is one I have seen everywhere. Like, every shop I go into, it's there. And every charity shop I go into, it's there. So I finally picked it up. It was £1. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll pick it up. Alaska, the 1920s. Jack and Mabel have staked everything on a fresh start in a remote homestead, but the wilderness is a stark place, and Mabel is haunted by the baby she lost many years before. When a little girl appears mysteriously on their land, each is filled with a wonder, but also foreboding. Is she what she seems, and can they find room in their hearts for her? It just, I don't know, it just sounds really sweet and literary fiction. I don't know if I'll read it soon. I might wait till kind of winter time. It feels like a better time to read it, obviously, because it's called The Snow Child. So I really did pick like the worst time to buy that one, didn't I? The next book is a non-fiction. It's called Spinning Straw into Gold. What Fairy Tales Reveal About the Transformations in a Woman's Life by Joan Gold. Like, first of all, the cover is so stunning. Like, I love her. Yeah, this one is also annotated, like, by whoever owned this first. It goes through so many of them. I know that I've seen Sleeping Beauty in here, Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, etc, etc. Like, it goes through all of the maiden mother crone as well, so the different kind of like stages of a woman's life as well, which I think is really cool, because a lot of books like this, you do kind of just find it from like the younger point of view. And obviously, as a woman in her mother era, going by that analogy, it's kind of nice to have everyone's perspective. The synopsis reads: what's your favourite fairy tale? Whether it's Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Hansel and Gretel, or another story, your answer reveals something significant about you, your experiences, and your soul. In this penetrating book, Joan Gold brings to the surface the hidden meanings in fairy tales and myths, and illuminates what they can tell you about the stages of your own life. As Gold explores the transformation that women go through from youth to old age, leaving home and mother, the first experience of sexuality, the surprising ambivalence of marriage, the spiritual work required by menopause and aging, her keen observations will enrich your awareness of your inner life. And I'm at that age now where I am starting to think about getting older. You know, I'm 35 this year. So getting older is something I think about. You know, like, I start thinking about whether I want kids and stuff like that. So I'm really kind of drawn to these kind of books at the minute, and I love fairy tales. I've always loved fairy tales. I've got so many kind of like Hans Christian Andersen's and Grimm's fairy tales, and I've got a lot of kids books as well, because that was always kind of like, it was partly for me, but also you know, if my partner and I decide we want to have kids, we've got them. If we don't have them, we've got niece and nephew who we would absolutely love to kind of read through with them. So I don't think you can beat a fairy tale. They were the first stories that we ever had as children, and there's something so magical about them. And I think that losing that is so sad. So I always try and keep a little bit of magic in my life at all times. And that made me sound really lame. Like, as someone who does like dabble in the craft as well, like, that just, it sounds so lame. Like, so lame. The next book I picked up was The Rose Labyrinth by Titania Hardy. I bought it because Shakespeare was on the front. I'm simple. I'm really simple. Like, that's the only reason I bought it. But it actually sounds really, really good. Before his death in 1609, the brilliant Elizabethan spy and astrologer John Dee hid his most astonishing secrets, trusting his descendants would one day bring them to light. The time has come. In 2003, Will Stafford inherits a strange legacy from his mother, a key in an ancient script with an enigmatic note. Deeply intrigued, he travels Europe seeking answers to its riddles, unaware that someone is following his every move. Back in London, Lucy King becomes entangled with Will's cryptic labyrinth, as its mysterious twists take her from France to New York and from literature to myth. In search of its hidden treasure, she has never been closer to the truth nor in graver danger. It's giving very like Da Vinci Code, like it's giving very Dan Brown, and I loved the movie. I haven't read the book yet, but I loved the Da Vinci Code. I thought it was brilliant, and that is giving the same vibes. So I had to like, very excited. And again, Shakespeare's on the front. I'm very simple. Like, I'm very simple. Like, I love Shakespeare. So yeah, I also picked up Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, just because I liked this version of it. I am kind of disappointed though, because whilst it is a Penguin classic, it's not the black with the white label, which is how I've got most of my Penguin classics. So I am gonna have to get that actual Penguin classic version of it, because like having matching books has never really bothered me, but like having the Penguin classics is something I want so bad. They look so nice on a shelf together. One I did pick up that I'm kind of disappointed now is Bridgerton, To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn. Now, I have no issue with Bridgerton. I love the show, and I thought the first book was great. However, I've tried reading Anthony's book, The Viscount Who Loved Me, twice now, and I just can't get through it. I think I definitely prefer the series to the actual books. Like, Julia Quinn's writing is just not for me. I don't think, like, I'll probably talk about this more in my wrap-up video at the end of the month, but she used the word prettily in this like 3 times in 6 pages, and I was like, no thank you. Like, no thank you, I'm fine. So a little bit disappointed that I did pick this one up before kind of starting that again, because I wanted to collect all of the series, but I'm not upset about it. I'm still going to watch the show. I'm just going to give the books away, I think. But yeah, so that was another one I got. This one I found for like 50p. And I don't know how old my viewers are. Like, I don't know what their age range is, but if you are around my age, you may remember a movie called The Water Babies. And it was terrifying. It started off as like a real life movie, like an action, like a people movie, and then it became a cartoon movie, like quarter of the way through, and then remained a cartoon for the majority of the movie, and then was suddenly not again. And it was about this kid, Tom, I think it is. Yeah, Tom falls into the water or something after running away, and he becomes a water baby. And he has fish friends and stuff. And for the longest time, I thought that was a fever dream, because no one else seemed to remember it. Then lo and behold, I find The Water Babies by Charles Kingsley in a charity shop for 50p, and I could not believe my freaking 4 eyes. Like, I was like, well, it turns out it's real. So honestly, I had to buy it just for nostalgia more than anything. Like, just to have the reminder every day that The Water Babies was real, and I didn't imagine it. Because honest to God, if you go watch the trailer for The Water Babies, I think it's like the 70s version or something, but oh my God, go watch the trailer for it. Like, it feels like a fever dream. It's the synopsis reads, the story begins at Halfover Place, a grand country house where Tom is sweeping the chimneys with his master Grimes. When Tom jumps into the stream to clean himself, he is turned into a water baby by the fairies and enters an underwater world of magical adventures in which he encounters Mrs. Do As You Would Be Done By, and her golden rule, and discovers the beauties of nature and spirit. Like, I can't really explain it, to be honest. The Water Babies was weird. It was just really weird. Like, there were some banging songs in it. Like, but watch the trailer. If you've never watched The Water Babies, go find the trailer for it and watch the trailer. It is literally a fever dream. Like, an actual fever dream. Like, it's weird. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless you want to go therapy. Like, no. Anyway. So the next book I bought is a hardback. I think this cost me 50p. PD James, Death Comes to Pemberley. If you know me, you know that Pride and Prejudice is my favourite Jane Austen. Pride and Prejudice 2005 is one of my comfort films. Matthew McFadden as Mr. Darcy will live in my heart forever, rent-free. And I also love any kind of new rendition of Pride and Prejudice, especially if it's set afterwards. Like I read Miss Bingley's Revenge last year, and that is the first in the Pemberley Presents series, and I'm planning on reading the rest of them, so that's very exciting. And this one yeah, just caught my eye, literally because it was called Death Comes to Pemberley, and I was like, well, that's Pride and Prejudice related. And obviously it's Lydia causing all the problems again, because when doesn't she? The synopsis reads, I'm sorry, I have no love for Lydia, I can't stand her. The year is 1803 and Darcy and Elizabeth have been married for 6 years. There are now 2 handsome and healthy sons in the Pemberley nursery. Elizabeth's beloved sister Jane and her husband Bingley live within 17 miles. The ordered and secure life of Pemberley seems unassailable, and Elizabeth's happiness in her marriage is complete. But their peace is threatened, and old sins and misunderstandings are rekindled on the eve of their annual autumn ball. The Darcys and their guests are preparing to retire for the night when a chaise appears, rocking down the path from Pemberley's wild woodland, and it pulls up. Lydia Wickham, an uninvited guest, tumbles out, screaming that her husband has been murdered. First of all, of course it's Lydia, because why wouldn't it be Lydia? Second of all, do any of us care that Wickham's been killed? He's literally the worst. Like, we hate Wickham. So, yeah, that is one thing I do love about Pride and Prejudice retellings, is he is always the worst. He stays the worst. He never gets any redemption, as he shouldn't, because he sucks. So that was Death Comes to Pemberley. I'm very excited to read that one. The next one I got, again for like 50p or a pound, was The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. I grew up with Britney and Christina, and obviously everything that happened to Britney was atrocious, and I want to support my girl, and this is on my list of books to read, so there you go. Simple. The last book I bought for myself was The World Within, the Brontes at Haworth. Life in Letters, Diaries and Writings by Juliet Gardner. And if you know, you know, I've become slightly obsessed with the Brontes this year. And I saw this and like immediately I had to have it. Like, look how gorgeous. Like, it's got their writings and portraits, and yeah, I'm so excited to read it. Like, I definitely want to learn more about them from like an autobiographical sense, so that was why I picked that one up. But oh god, I just love them so much. Their writing's fantastic. Like, I may not agree with some of, you know, their characters, Mr. Rochester, but I do love their stories. I think they're phenomenal. Their poetry's wonderful. Like, I want to eat them up. I want to know everything about them. Delicious. And I apologize, I got the hiccups. We haven't long had dinner. The last book I have was actually a gift from my wonderful friend Anna, who is one of my real life very best friends. And she bought me The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas, and it's massive. Look at that. Huge. And it's the Penguin Classics that I like. So she and her friend Ame is basically Anna's like adopted child. This is one of their favourite books, and they have been going on and on and on with me to read it, and I said I'm going to, and I found a free version of it on Kindle, and I showed them it, and they were immediately like, no, it's the wrong version, and I was like, I don't know what the right version is. And then I went and I had a look at some other stuff, and I come back and Anna's bought me this, like, so yeah, I'm very excited to read it. I know there's canonic lesbians in it, which is very exciting, because we all know I love a canonic lesbian. I'm also thinking of writing a lesbian pirate story, so keep an ear out for that. But yeah, that is all of the books I've managed to gather this month. I'm going to try really hard not to get any more because I am going a little bit crazy with it. I do have a Waterstones voucher though, so if I do have another new book, it's because I spent my voucher on it. That's how I'm going to try and do this from now on, is to just use my vouchers or see if I can get them for free. So that's that. And now I want to do a little wrap up in like a little update for life things, because things have just been a bit mental, to be honest. So I'm not going to be using social media anymore. Like, I've deactivated my Instagram, my TikTok, and I'm just not using them anymore. I've got no interest in them. I only really started using them again because I wanted to promote my book, and frankly that hasn't really helped anything at all. Like, the only benefit I've gained is that I've met some fantastic people who I'm now who I now class as friends. So that's been wonderful. But I just find it's taking up so much of my time. Before I had them again, I didn't use social media for a year and a half, and oh my god, it was so peaceful. Like, I want to get back to enjoying life again. I want to start reading for me again, not for kind of the views or clicks or whatever. Like, I want to just read what I want to read because I want to. Like, I want to start writing again, but not feel the pressure of having to put something out. Like, at the minute, I've gone a little bit writer's block on the last book in the trilogy. And I want to write something else, but I didn't feel like I could, which is so ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? So that's where the lesbian pirates came in. That was an idea I had the other day, but I need to do some research on it. But yeah, and if you want to kind of stay in contact, YouTube, I'm still going to be doing occasionally. Probably the same amount as I already was, like 2 to 3 times a month. That might change, however, because I am finally applying for jobs again, which is very exciting. I'm finally feeling ready to go back to work, even if it's just part-time right now. So I'll still be available on here. I'm still using Tumblr because I'm a Tumblr bitch at heart. I've always been a Tumblr bitch, and that's my fun place. Like, I like going on there and looking at the pretty pictures. Like, that's literally it. I've got Discord, I've got Goodreads, Storygraph, all of that's going to be in my link tree, except my Tumblr, because my Tumblr is for me. Like, if you have a Tumblr and you want to kind of like add each other, that's fine, but like, we'll do it privately. Like, my Tumblr is filled with some embarrassing stuff. Like, there's so much Dead Poet Society content on there where I'm just defending Richard Cameron, and it's embarrassing. So yeah, I've had some really amazing feedback. I sent out a couple of people the PDF of the first book in the trilogy, The Bonds That Bind Us, and I've had some really fantastic feedback today. So I'm tempted to kind of go over all of the books again and kind of update the manuscripts and change them a little bit. I don't know whether to just kind of take it down right now, because I don't want to keep making changes. And obviously I don't want people to buy them and have to keep rebuying them because I keep making changes. So I might right now take the paper, like the physical books, the paperbacks, off sale for a while, and just keep the Kindle versions up, because the Kindle version updates when you update it through the website. So I might just do that. I've put my poetry book back up, Fully Exposed by me, Stephanie Tucker. I put that back up on Amazon. It's not really selling. None of my books are really selling, which kind of sucks, but it's not really about the money for me. I just want people to read my stories. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. So the last video I'm probably going to be uploading this month is going to be my wrap up. I've read a lot this month. I think I've read like 8 books so far. I'm currently reading 2. And one of them is the last All Souls book, because I couldn't stop myself. I needed to read it. I need to know what happens. But yeah, I'll be uploading that one towards the end of the month. And then next month, the TBR is going to be picked by my partner. Like, my fiance is picking books for me to read. And I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. I'm very excited because I love reading books that he enjoys, books that he thinks that I will love. Like he was absolutely right about The Wheel of Time, despite the fact it's taken me 3 years to get to book 13. But he and I share very similar taste when it comes to books in regards to fantasy and stuff like that. So I'm very excited. Obviously, if you don't want to keep updated on life stuff, absolutely fine. Like, there's no obligation to be here. I love the fact that you guys support me through YouTube. Thank you if you did support me through Instagram and TikTok and stuff as well. I'll still be around. I'm just trying to enjoy life a little bit more without my screen. So that's kind of it right now. I don't really have anything else to say, like, as usual. Thank you for being here. Oh, like and subscribe, because I keep forgetting to say that, and that's a very like big YouTube thing, isn't it? Like and subscribe my video. And be kind to each other, be brave, punch Nazis. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.